Here's a quick tip from Ralphie here at kiwiradio.nz. A plugin that has been essential in my workflow recently is one called Vocal Align by SyncArts. Not a sponsor, but very cool plugin that helps align different vocal takes into one vocal comp. I remember sitting into some sessions at professional studios like York Street, which is now closed, but York was like Roundhead Studios level, and I was sitting in with a session with an artist called Josh Lees, who I've done synthesizers for in the past, and he was with engineer Simon Gooding, who has now gone on to produce lots of international artists like Ed Sheeran. And Josh Lees is very pop orientated, so you're talking Justin Timberlake styles, and he did a lot of vocal takes, and then he would spend like 2 hours comping them together, aligning the accents, so you get those big fat choruses. I found out about this plugin because I was watching some behind the scenes Charlie Puth stuff, and he's also pop. And here's a song I've been working on. I've kind of bounced it now to a mastering session to save on my CPU. I've got the music here and a couple of vocal takes that I did this morning. Literally, I find when I'm doing vocals, I'll do it in 1 or 2 takes, and that's it. I'm trying to capture a performance and a feeling, and I felt really good when doing this. Now, this song has been sitting for a while, and I co-wrote the music with a guy called Greg Pienaar, who was also in This Flight Tonight. You can find out about that project, which is no longer around. But I did dig through my hard drives, and this is originally one of those This Flight Tonight songs that was unreleased, and I added some bass and drums, and then it was just down to redoing the vocals. The original vocal scratch was really bad, and it was done almost 10 plus years ago. So I redid the vocals this morning. I knew the song really well because it's been sitting for a while. I like to work fast when it comes to plugins or digital audio workstations. Over the years, I found that fast keeps me inspired, and Vocal Align is a really good tool to keep the momentum happening. There's another Vocal Align plugin that's just reached the market by Waves, and I would stay away from Waves at all costs because they flipped the switch with a lot of their customers, where you would buy a perpetual license, and now they're trying to get you into a subscription-based model. Every year you would have to renew the license, and it's just a really, really bad company. So do not go with them. The only other competing company out there now is by SyncArts. And to be honest, I tried the demo for both, and I do like the interface once I figured it out with this one anyways, because Waves has a new operating system with RTA and so forth, which is goes beyond the typical VST3. And anyways, trust me with this experimentation. I just went along with SyncArts Vocal Align standard plugin, not the Pro plugin. The Pro plugin, you pay a bit more, as well as accents and stuff, aligning it. You get the pitch stuff as well if you want to align pitch. And to be honest, if I'm gonna do that anyways, there's other plugins that I have, not so much Melodyne, but you know, those type of plugins that will correct the pitch for me, or I would just redo the take. I like to kind of redo takes, and the only time I do Melodyne kind of stuff is if it's genre based, like R&B or something like that. But when it comes to something like this, which is rock, I just redo the take and keep it natural. So anyways, here I am. I'm going to share my screen now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Vocal Align Standard. Now, there is a trick to get this working for you. So I recorded a lead vocal. The vocal chain that I have is an AKG C12 microphone going into Avalon 737. It's a very expensive vocal chain, to be honest. I managed to hunt those units down secondhand a very long time ago, 10 plus years ago. I remember buying the 737 off a lady who was needing the money, she was behind rent or something, and there we go. I got the unit and I set for life, really. Even to a point that one of the fuses blew and I knew how to replace it. So I've got a couple of spare fuses as well, stocked up on them. But to be honest, that doesn't really happen, especially if you turn off the units and you have a power conditioner to help protect it or something like that from power spikes. I'll do some B-roll so you can check out that unit right now. And yeah, I recorded that this morning and I honestly did 1 or 2 takes. I didn't overthink it. I just did the vocal performance and here we are. Like, as you can see on the screen here, there's really not many takes because it didn't need to. I use Vocal Align to do 2 BVs, so one to kind of fatten the choruses and one that's a little bit higher octave. Now, if you're a pop perfectionist like Charlie Puth or something like that, you'd probably do 5, 6, 10 layers, but I wanted a quick result and I didn't want to overdo it. And this is rock as well, so it's a different genre. Rock is meant to capture something that's essentially live on a stage, and you're not going to have 10 backup singers to sing to the main vocalist. So yeah, do what you like. There's no right or wrong, but that was just sort of my thinking behind it. And so this is the trick behind Vocal Align. You have your lead vocals, which everything syncs to. When you're doing the BVs, what you got to do is you got to do sidechain here. I'll go on that channel. So I've installed the plugin on every channel, so lead and the 2 BVs. What I do now is, here's the most important thing. You get the sidechain here and you click on lead vocals. So you got to put it on audio and sync it to lead vocals, which I've labeled there. And then once you've done that, basically you play the song here, and to start with, it will be off sync. But when you capture it, which I've already done, you can see that it's captured it. So you just click capture, right? Okay, so I've captured the performance and it will already automatically output the syncopated version, and that's as easy as it is. Okay, so I'm not going to go, this is a quick tip, I'm not going to go into it too much detail. Vocal Align Pro is only there if you want to add pitch to it, to the source as well, but I'm pretty happy with the standard license. To top it off with my vocal chain, another essential plugin that's been here is the UAD Top Line Vocal Suite. I get artists asking me all the time, you know, I'm terrible with my vocal chain, I just want something to make it really like radio friendly or ready, and I'm not really an engineer. The plugin I will recommend for you is Top Line Vocal Suite by UAD. Now, I do have the UAD satellite hardware that I bought a long time ago, that's got the Thunderbolt 3, and what that does is that it just reduces the DSP on the computer. I've learned this from many years of engineering, that reduce your DSP as much as possible, including like this session here where I've rebounced the music all as one stereo stem instead of the original session. I'll still save that original session as something else, like version original 3 or something like that, and this is now version 4, something like that. But again, it's all about saving DSP. Now, I've got a Mac M1 chip, and strangely enough, it's the base minimum, so 8 gig RAM. You should be doing 16 gig RAM minimum from my engineering days of school, you know, those diploma years that I did. But to be honest, if you know how to save DSP in other ways, such as having the satellite or bouncing stems, blah, 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 you'll be fine. You know, the Beatles, they got away with a 4-track, bouncing one, you know, 3 of those tracks into one singular track, giving them more tracks and so forth. So engineers, it's all about what I found is we've got so many options now. Good engineers will have creative ways to find themselves going around limitations. And then another great plugin I usually put in the chain to kind of polish it off is VOCA. The reason why I use it is the auto feature on volume. Again, I used to use the Waves Rider plugin, but I'm moving away from the Waves ecosystem into other things. So I just found this is the only one that I can find with the auto volume thing, and it works for me. And I usually use the soften button to kind of take out the sibilants and stuff. So rather than having heaps of plugins, I like 1 or 2 plugins that does the job. Those combined is what I usually, those are my go-tos now with vocal chains, and I may just use my ear to add another compressor or something like that. Usually I might chuck in other compressors, but to be honest, it's not about the plugins, so don't try and copy paste what I do. A good engineer, again, will use his ears, find creative ways for limitations and so forth. If you do get stuck though, I do engineering on the side, and I've been doing that as a gig thing. So if you do have a project that you'd like me to mix or master remotely, you can email me at kiwiradio@proton.me and I'll see what I can do. Especially if you're a New Zealand artist, because we have a radio station called Kiwiradio.nz that plugs indie and Kiwi musicians, and that's what it's all about. Sometimes musicians get stuck, and please ask for help if you do. But otherwise, hopefully this video has helped you to kind of help yourself and get your track towards the finish line. And that has been a quick tip from Ralphie here at Kiwiradio. Stay cool, stay creative. Cheers.